Okay, so what if you could just build a river from scratch? Not over millions of years, but right now. Well, that's exactly what's happening in the middle of the Saudi Arabian desert. It's one of the most ambitious engineering projects on the entire planet. And yeah, it sounds like something straight out of science fiction. But believe me, this is very, very real.
Just let that sink in for a second. A river that completely defies its own definition. It's not born from mountains, it's not fed by rain, it's created by pure human will, carving a path through a landscape where water is pretty much the most precious thing you can imagine.
So, the big question is, how do you even begin to do something like this? I mean, where do you start? It's a massive puzzle that takes incredible engineering, unbelievable resources, and a vision to completely reshape an entire nation's future. Let's dig in and break down exactly how it works.
But before we get to the how, we really have to understand the why. This whole project, this massive undertaking, it's all a response to a fundamental problem, one that's as old as the desert itself.
You know, when you think about it, most of civilization's great empires were built along rivers. The Nile, the Tigris, the Euphrates. Rivers are the lifeblood of nations. But in Saudi Arabia, water scarcity has always been the one defining feature of life. It decides where you can build your cities, what you can grow, and how the country itself can even develop.
And this is where the story gets really interesting. Instead of just managing this scarcity, trying to get by, the decision was made to try and overcome it entirely. To engineer a new source of water on a scale that honestly is almost unimaginable. Okay, so let's get into the nuts and bolts of it. How does this colossal system actually function? What does a man-made river even look like?
First things first, you've got to get that image of a winding, natural river out of your head. This is a highly engineered network. Think of it more like a massive circulatory system. A web of pipelines and canals designed to pump life, in the form of water, from the coast deep into the arid heartland.
And just to give you a sense of the scale we're talking about, think about the Nile River, the longest river in the world, right? It's about 6,650 kilometers long. Well, get this, some sections of this man-made water network are designed to be even longer than that. It is absolutely mind-blowing.
But where is all this water coming from? Well, not from rain, that's for sure. It comes from the sea. The entire project, the whole dream, it all hinges on one single incredible technology: desalination. It's the key that unlocks the nearly limitless water supply of the ocean. Now, the process, at its core, is pretty straightforward. Step 1, you pull massive amounts of water from the sea. Step 2, you run it through these huge, high-tech plants that strip out all the salt and minerals. And Step 3, you've got fresh water ready to be pumped thousands of kilometers inland. Simple in concept, incredibly complex in execution. And you've got to remember, this isn't some brand new experiment for them. Saudi Arabia is already the world leader in desalination. This river project is basically them taking their existing expertise and just cranking the dial up to a level nobody has ever seen before.
But of course, an ambition this big doesn't come without some major questions and some serious challenges. So let's look at both sides of this, the incredible promise and the potential peril of trying to remake a landscape on this scale.
The vision, what they call the green dream, is so compelling. I mean, we're talking about making the desert literally bloom. It's about achieving food security through farming, building new, sustainable cities, and growing trees where only sand used to be. And you can already see the results from space, these giant green circles appearing in the desert.
But there's always another side of the coin, isn't there? Creating fresh water this way has some major trade-offs. For one, the desalination process uses an incredible amount of energy. Then there's the environmental impact. Pumping that super salty byproduct, the brine, back into the sea can really harm marine life. And of course, there are big questions about whether a system this expensive can truly be sustainable in the long run.
And that really gets to the heart of the whole debate. When you try to re-engineer nature on this kind of scale, there are always consequences. The real challenge isn't just building the river, it's managing the price that nature will inevitably demand.
So this project is about way more than just pipes and water. It's actually a key piece in a much, much larger puzzle. A plan to redesign the future of the entire nation, and maybe, just maybe, provide a blueprint for the rest of the world. This is the real why behind it all. This man-made river is a cornerstone of Vision 2030, which is Saudi Arabia's master plan to build a future that doesn't depend on oil. And as they know very well, you can't build that kind of future on sand. You need water. And you can see the direct connection right here. Every part of this water project serves a huge strategic goal. Providing fresh water helps build economic power. Enabling farming in the desert creates food independence. And securing the water supply itself,
Well, that underpins the entire nation's future stability. It's all connected.
So this naturally leads to a pretty fascinating question. If Saudi Arabia can actually pull this off, if they can successfully green their deserts, could this technology become a blueprint for other water-scarce regions all over the globe?
I mean, just think about it. The vast deserts of Africa, the Australian outback, huge arid parts of Asia, so many places face the exact same challenges. This project could end up pioneering solutions that literally change what's possible in the world's driest places.
And that's really the ultimate ambition here, isn't it? To fundamentally uncouple a nation's destiny from its climate. To build a future where human ingenuity, not geography, is what defines the limits of what's possible.
Which brings us to the final, and maybe the most critical question of all. This man-made river isn't just an engineering marvel. It's a test case for all of us in the 21st century. As our technology gives us more and more power to reshape the planet itself, we have to ask, can we actually redesign nature to meet our needs without destroying it in the process? It's a huge question, and one that affects all of us. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.